or herself. Okay, it is up to the judge whether or not they want to allow it. For example, okay, in Datuk Seri Najib's case, uh, Datuk Seri Najib was not satisfied. Okay, with the chair judge. Okay, the judge in his case. Okay, the Datuk Tengku Maimun, if I'm not mistaken, her name. Okay, because he said that there will be an element of bias if Datuk Seri Tengku Maimun continue to hear the case because her husband was not a fan lah. Okay, the judge's husband was not a fan of Datuk Seri Najib. Okay, and he afraid that her husband's opinion will have an effect, okay, to her judgment. Okay, but when the lawyer of Datuk Seri Najib once made application for the judge to recuse herself, that judge not approve did not approve the application. Okay, so that means that even if we are not satisfied with the judge, okay, we cannot simply remove the judge from hearing our case. Different with arbitration. Berbezalah dengan arbitration. Arbitration we can choose, court we cannot choose. Okay. Right. Now, by submitting their disputes to a private tribunal of their own choice, the parties confer upon that tribunal a discretion as to the procedure to be adopted in reaching its decision and the people who are allowed to be present at the hearing. So this is based on the case ASO Australia Resources Limited against the Honorable Sydney James Brumett. Okay, now the third difference is that, okay, this is just like the first, we can solve the matter in private manner. Okay, so most commercial corporations do not like the kind of publicity that litigations would bring because there is tendency for others to stop dealing with a corporation that has been taken into courts. Okay, now publicity is good, but not all publicity is good. Sometimes publicity are bad. Okay, especially the publicity that came from the court, meaning that let's say the big corporation has been sued, okay, has been sued by its own user. Okay, for example, internet, okay, Unify being sued by the user of the Wi-Fi company. Okay, so that will bring downfall. Okay, that will bring downfall of the business if the matters cannot be settled in private. So that's why sometimes the big corporation or commercial corporation like to settle the matters through arbitration. Okay, so also court proceedings, especially the ones that attract much publicity, get reported in the press and other media. So in regard to court proceeding, sometimes it will be reported. Okay, there will be reporters that will write about our case and then publish it in newspaper or publish it in social media. Okay, and that will attract publicity. That is bad publicity lah. If the big corporation is the one that being sued. Okay, the fourth advantages of arbitration is it is less expensive and quicker manner. Okay, lebih murah, less expensive. Okay, and quicker manner, lebih cepat. Okay, and fifth advantages to have their dispute adjudicated by a person who possesses expertise in the subject matter of the dispute. Now, it is related with advantages number 2. Okay, related with advantage 2. Why? Again, if you look at the second advantage, okay, we can choose the tribunal. Okay, so choose the tribunal meaning that they can choose someone with expertise. Okay, someone with the relevant expertise, kepakaran yang tertentu, the relevant expertise to deal with the subject matter, okay, of the dispute. For example, if we have problem with engineering, then we can choose a tribunal, okay, tribunal that experts, tribunal that is an expert in arbitration, in engineering. Okay, kita cari yang pakar berkenaan dengan engineering. Okay, so that is the advantage lah of arbitration. It compared to court, we cannot choose the judge. Kita tak boleh pilih hakim. We cannot choose the judge. Okay, compared to arbitration, we can choose the tribunal. Okay, and in Malaysia, arbitration is regulated by the Arbitration Act 2005 as amended by the Arbitration Amendment Act 2011. So we will use Arbitration Act 2005 for arbitration. Okay, now so far, do you guys have any question? Ada soalan? Any question? No, yeah? Okay. So, now, appointment, powers, and authority. Now, we look at the appointment of tribunal. Now, under Section 12, the parties are free to determine the number of arbitrators. Okay, so Section 12, priorities, again, priority in appointing the arbitrators is that it is up to the parties. Okay, parties can choose, okay, choose their own arbitrators and also the number of arbitrators, but they need to on the same page. For example, both offerer and offeree must, kalau if the offerer wants to choose 3 arbitrators, then the offerer also to agree with the numbers of arbitrators. Let's say the parties fail to determine, both parties and second arbitrator will choose the third arbitrator. Okay, and this arbitrator, okay, will be the presiding. Okay, orang yang akan ketuai, the one who will be the presiding arbitrator, the one that will lead the arbitration tribunal. Okay, this is based on Section 13 Sub 3 and the case of Sabah Shipyard Sdn Bhd against Jackson Marine Malaysia Sdn Bhd. Okay, so this is regard to the international. But let's say it's a single panel. Sorry. Okay, single panel arbitrator. Now, in regard to single panel arbitrator, there is the domestic arbitration. Okay, domestic maksudnya dalam negara. Okay, domestic meaning in country. Okay, arbitration. Now, in regard to domestic arbitration, where the single panel arbitrator will be elected, if the parties fail to agree, if both sides did not agree with the appointment, okay, A choose somebody else, B choose somebody else. So, either may apply to the director of Kuala Lumpur Regional Centre of Arbitration (KLRCA) to appoint an arbitrator. Okay, so let's say A and B have dispute. This is a domestic arbitration. So A want to choose someone else, B wants to choose someone else. So they cannot agree who will be the single panel arbitrator. So A or B can apply to director of KLRCA, and the director KLRCA will appoint an arbitrator. This is based on section 13. Okay. If the parties agreed on the procedure for appointment, but a party fails to act as required, either party may apply to the director of KLRCA2. This is based on section 13 subsection 7. And in considering an arbitrator for appointment. Okay, now let's say so. In regard to this single panel arbitrator, where the director of KLRCA will choose the arbitrator, the director will regard the following, will consider the following. First, the qualification. Okay, qualification required of the arbitrator. Second is consideration. Okay, consideration that are likely to secure appointment of an independent and impartial arbitrator, meaning that the director must choose independent and impartial arbitrator. Okay, independent means bebas. Okay, not subject to order of anybody else, and impartial, unbiased. Okay, unbiased arbitrator. You guys, can you guys hear me? Dengar tak? Jelas tak?
Jelas.
Okay, baik. Alright. Now, for an international arbitration, it is advisable to appoint an arbitrator of nationality other than those of the parties. Okay, it is not obligated. Okay, it is advisable, meaning that if can, kalau boleh, okay, then please appoint an arbitrator where the nationality is not the same as the parties. For example, A against B. Let's say A is may not Thailand. Okay, choose from other nationality in Indonesia, okay, Singapore, Brunei, and so on. Okay, as long as not from Malaysia and Thailand. But again, it is advisable only. Okay, now an appointment of an arbitrator must be conducted properly, and the candidate must be notified about his appointment. Now, the appointment of arbitrator must be informed. Okay, must be notified to the candidate. Okay, the arbitrator must be informed about his appointment. And if the parties merely agree to the appointment of an arbitrator without communicating appointment to the candidate, this will not be an effective appointment. Okay, without notification, we cannot appoint someone to become arbitrator. Okay, without notice. Sorry. Tak nampak kat mana?
Nampak. Saya ada tulis. dekat skrin tu.
Dia jadi kabur ke? Macam blurry ke?
Okay, dah nampak dah. Tadi tak nampak.
Oh, okay. Okay, dia lambat sikit. Okay. Okay, we count. Notice. Notice of appointment. Without notice of appointment, no arbitration. Okay. Kalau tak ada appointment, without notice of appointment, it is considered that there is no arbitration at all. This is based on the case of Product Export SA against Volkswagen Work AG. Now, a person candidate for appointment to be an arbitrator shall disclose or inform any circumstances likely to give rise to justifiable doubts as to that person's impartiality or independence. Let's say, if there is a chance, if there is a chance that there will be bias, candidate must okay. Kalau ada peluang, if there is a chance that the candidate will be biased, then we need to inform the parties. Because if, let's say, the candidate has been appointed and then he did act in bias, okay, memang dia tak ada, if the candidate do act in bias, then it can be, the appointment can be challenged. Okay. Also, the arbitrator also can challenge if, circumstances likely to be justifiable doubts. Arbitrator also can be challenged if he does not have the qualification required by the parties. This is based on section 14. Okay, and when an arbitrator fails to act or becomes in law, or in fact unable to perform his function, his mandate terminates on withdrawal of the office or if the parties agree on the termination. So this point tells us about termination. Okay, termination of arbitrator. Okay, so how can we terminate the arbitrator? Okay, first withdrawal of office, or the word resign. Okay, resign from becoming an arbitrator in that case, or the parties. Okay, parties agree to the termination. Both parties terminate the arbitrator. Okay, but only if the arbitrator fails to act or becomes in law or in fact unable to perform his function. Okay, right. So far you get any question? Ada soalan?
Tak ada, Sen.
Okay. Now, okay, we will finish on powers and authority. Yeah. Okay. Now, upon being appointed, an arbitrator is given the powers and duties to conduct arbitration in accordance with the principles of natural justice, fairness, and the civil laws in force. Okay. So, arbitrator need to act with the principle of natural justice. Now, principle of natural justice have two elements. That is right against bias. And and right to be heard. Now, so first, right against bias, where the arbitrator must act with fairness. He cannot become biased on both parties or against parties. For example, that's why in regard to the appointment of arbitrator, if there is a situation or if there is a chance that the candidate will be biased, he need to inform it. Because once he is appointed as an arbitrator, he need to act without bias. Right against bias meaning that both parties will have the right to be treated equally. Okay, right to be treated equally. Equally. Okay, parties have right. Parties right to be treated equally. Now that is right against bias. Now right to be heard, hak untuk didengari. Okay, right to be heard meaning that both parties can present their case. Okay, present their case or arguments. Or arguments. Okay, both parties, both offerer and offeree will have their right as well will have their chance to argue. Okay, this party may have their own agreement, their own argument, and another party may have their own argument. So this arbitrator must heard both parties. Okay, if let's say he give the offerer chance to present their case, but not allow not allow the offeree to present their case, meaning that the principle of natural justice is not being followed by the arbitrator, and the arbitration process can be said to have failed. Okay, so that is the principle of natural justice. This is based on the case of Wong Hap Private Limited against Property Development Limited. Now, the arbitral tribunal is competent to rule on its jurisdiction, including any objection to the existence or validity of the arbitration agreement. That is based on section 18. Okay, a party may raise a plea to the tribunal is exceeding the scope of its authority during the arbitral proceeding. Now, arbitral tribunal they have their own jurisdiction. Okay, ada bidang kuasa tersendiri. Okay, their own jurisdiction, and therefore they need to follow or they need to act within their own jurisdiction. And if the tribunal, okay, is exceeding the scope, okay, exceeding his own jurisdiction, then the party may raise a plea. Okay, and the arbitrator's authority comes. Okay, arbitrator's authority comes from the arbitration agreement. Okay, so this arbitrator's authority comes from arbitration. Okay, arbitration confers powers and arbitral tribunal. Powers and duties also can come from the arbitration. Okay, this is based on Harbour Assurance Company UK Limited against Kansa General International Insurance. Now, parties cannot confer upon the tribunal powers that are exclusively for the court's discretion, okay, i.e. the injunction or power of committal for contempt. Now, court have special powers. Okay, court have special powers. So these special powers of the court cannot be practiced by the tribunal. Tribunal cannot practice special powers. Courts special powers. Okay, for example, injunction. Now, what is injunction? Apa itu injunction? Hmm. What is injunction? Anyone? Anyone can please tell me what is injunction?
Arahan ke?
Arahan apa? What kind of order? Huh? Sorry Anissa? Tak dengar tadi. Order for of what? Arahan apa? What type of order? So, okay, good. So, injunction, tapi tak habis lagi. Okay, we're not finished yet. So, injunction is a court order. Court order of what? Court order? Tak habis lagi ni. Dia adalah arahan mahkamah. Yes, it is a court order. Court order of what? What is the function of this court order? Court order of injunction. Someone please read. Court order of the parties to what? Okay. Sorry, from specific. Specific what? Act. Okay, act or acts. Alright. So court order to restrain. Okay. To restrain someone. Okay. Or restrain parties. From X. Okay, so from X. Restrain from doing something. Okay, in regard to contract, so it is a court order to restrain parties from breaching the contract. Now, injunction is a special powers of the court. Okay, meaning that the tribunal or the arbitrators cannot decide on injunction. Okay, alright, so that is the definition, not definition lah, sorry, that is the limit of the power of the tribunal. Okay, tribunal also cannot decide on the power of committal for contempt. So contempt here means is what you call it, not dishonor, contempt of court. Have you guys heard about contempt of court? Dah dengar tak? Contempt of court.
Tak pernah.
Tak pernah. Hina mahkamah tahu? Pernah dengar? Hina mahkamah. So contempt is hina. Okay, hina mahkamah. Hina means that parties did not follow the order of the court. Okay, so the court can decide on committal, meaning that the court can arrest the court can order the court can order the person that have disobeyed the court's order apa ayat dia? The court can order the parties that disobeyed the court order to be arrested. Court boleh arahkan individu yang langgar arahan mahkamah untuk ditahan. Okay, so that is the power for courts only. The tribunal do not have the power. Okay, so that this is the limit. Okay, limit of tribunal or arbitration powers. Okay, limit yang ada pada tribunal. Okay, tidak boleh dilaksanakan oleh tribunal, hanya kepada mahkamah, only for courts only. Okay, alright. Any question? Ada sebarang soalan? Any question before we stop here?
Tak ada sih.
Tak ada ya. Alright, so we will finish here. And those who wants to consult with me, semalam ada seorang. So, yesterday there is one group that want to consult with me. Others also can stay. Okay, for those who did not want to consult with me for today, okay, you guys can leave lah. Alright, so thank you guys.